side of the Battle of Ohio in the Cleveland Browns. We talked about a crowded QB room in terms of the Giants. There's another crowded quarterback room that we're dealing with right here with the Browns. How bad is it?
It's as bad as you think, Jacqueline.
Okay.
I mean, 3-win teams don't get better, double their win totals by adding 3 quarterbacks, right?
2% chance of making the playoffs.
I mean, their road defense was never good. Even in the peak of their powers of their defense, what was it, 2 seasons ago, they were allowing 31 points per game on the road. So we never really bought into this defense as much as everyone else because we obviously look at road games as well. But again, like, if you think you have no quarterbacks with 2, try 5, right? So, I mean, we do give them a 2-win improvement, which I guess is technically good, but still bottom of the conference.
Yeah, I mean, 3 wins, I guess it can only go up from there. You would hope. You have 5 different quarterbacks to choose from. So let's send it back to the crew in studio. Jenny, the crowded QB room, certainly one of the top storylines to follow here out of Cleveland.
It is a wild room when you look at it. So obviously following Deshaun Watson's latest Achilles injury that expected to knock him out of the season, then they get Kenny Pickett, okay? So we're good with that. Then they signed Joe Flacco in free agency. And then Cleveland makes that very rare, odd move to not draft 1, but 2 mid-round quarterbacks, Dillon Gabriel, of course, and then, as we all know, Shedeur Sanders rounding out that 5th round. A little crowded? Can we call it that?
A lot of dudes there.
One of those guys really isn't in.
Yeah, Deshaun.
Yeah, okay, we'll cross one out. So, put 4.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the youth movement there.
Yeah.
Obviously Kenny Pickett somewhere between the youth movement and Joe Flacco, who's rounding out to like 40 years old. But I mean, it's no secret to me that Joe Flacco will probably be the quarterback here as week 1 happens, and we're going to find out a lot about Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, there was a lot of conversation around Shedeur Sanders going into the draft, but I just think about the experience that both those quarterbacks have had in college. It will help them out, but at the end of the day, Kenny Pickett, more experienced than all of them, Super Bowl champion, had an opportunity to play with some really great players.
Kyle, I think Kevin Stefanski is fighting a losing battle. Now, when you look at his history, you go back to the 2023 season, quarterback room kind of looks similar to this. Remember, Deshaun Watson gets hurt, P.J. Walker comes in, DTR comes in, and then Joe Flacco was on his couch at home, and they end up going 11-6 and going to the playoffs. So people will probably hold that in high regards to Kevin Stefanski saying, well, you've done it before with this cast of characters. Why can't you do it there? I think the teams are totally different because that run game, that offensive line was superior to this run game and the offensive line the Browns have currently right now. Kyle thinks Joe Flacco is going to start. I actually think Kenny Pickett is, right? Because you want to start a veteran and you traded away draft capital, gave up a 5th round pick. Now, he is a former 1st round pick, but this is already his 3rd team. And I honestly think Kevin Stefanski, with his skill set, it matches better for Kenny Pickett, right, as far as what he wants to do, because he doesn't have the gaudy arm. And Kevin Stefanski doesn't want to throw the ball down the field. He wants to attack down the seam. So I think Kenny Pickett will ultimately start. But again, I think this is a losing battle for Kevin Stefanski, and it's unfortunate because he's a really good coach.
Yeah, but Kevin Stefanski will coach again somewhere else.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But I tend to agree with you. I think Flacco is going to be the starter over the season. I do. I think they won with Flacco. The players that were there know what he can do. They didn't bring him back last year because they wanted Deshaun Watson to be the quarterback, and they knew there would be a problem if Flacco was in the room. That's why he didn't come back. Well, now he's back. I think he's a starter. Here's what I think happens. I think if they realize that Gabriel and Sanders both can be competent playing quarterback, then I think when somebody goes down in training camp or something, then they pedal Pickett or Flacco, one of those two. If it's not Flacco, whichever one is the starter will get pedaled or go somewhere else. If one of those guys isn't capable of being a quarterback, whether it's probably Shedeur Sanders because he was the 5th round pick, if he's not capable of being their guy, then I think they keep him all. And maybe you keep Sanders on the practice squad.
I don't think he'll last on the practice squad. Somebody playing.
Every team in the league wanted to be last in the 5th round. What are you talking about?
He still got drafted, though.
Every team in the league had a shot to pick him in the 5th round.
I hope he gets a chance. I hope he gets some reps. I want to see him.
I want to see him. I want to see him play. I want to see Gabriel play. But let's be real. You can't keep all those guys.
You can't keep all 4 guys, yeah.
No, you can't. So Stefanski definitely has his hands full with this room. All right.